There we were, basking in the summer, few days off, nice little quiet time. Not when you're an Arsenal fan. Big news today, so here we go. I dragged him away from his day off because this story was too big not to cover. And yes, we're going 5 minutes earlier than scheduled, just so Newman doesn't give me crap. Welcome back to the podcast, Mr. Super Kevin Campbell. Bo!
Bo!
Kev, thank you so much for joining. At ease, squaddies. Well done, well remembered. I'm too riled up for this one. And maybe you are or you're not. So let's just get to it, shall we? There's big news today. The Arsenal Football Club are the subject of the new season of Amazon Originals programming, All or Nothing. I remember when Spurs did this a couple of seasons ago, we were all laughing about how, well, there you go. We all know the ending. It's going to be about nothing. With the Arsenal, you never quite know what you're going to get. Kev, what's your initial reaction to this?
Initial reaction is I'm not disappointed. I'm really looking forward to it, actually, because there's many people who have preconceived ideas about what's going on in the background. And wouldn't it be just right for us to actually see, in a sense, what's going on? And I think we're gonna cover some of the other stuff I think about it after.
Well, look, I mean, do we want Arsenal Football Club to have commercial opportunities? Yes. Would I prefer that our commercial opportunities were exploited in another way? Yes. Having been in the entertainment industry for so long, I know how these shows go. If people think they're going to learn something new about Stan Kroenke, if you think you're going to see the inner workings of Arsenal Football Club, you're not. You're just going to get to see what they want you to see and what the hierarchy want you to see, which is a complete PR program and PR move. Now, when Man City did this, Kev, Manchester City were breeding. I was talking to someone about this earlier. They really wanted to illustrate their success, right? They're on the path to success in this domination. But we all admit Manchester City do not have the same fan following around the world that Liverpool do, Arsenal do, Chelsea do, Manchester United do. They just don't. They are still a small club doing big, big, big things, right? When Tottenham did it, you could see from a total money grab point of view in terms of what Levy was doing, but they also had another agenda because up their sleeve, they had the Mourinho story. So there was a different motivation for them. For us, are we that desperate for money, Kev?
Yep. Yep. We are.
I mean, can't we sell a player for 10 to 20 million as
Not
opposed
enough.
to...
Not enough.
I know it's not enough. Go on.
Not enough anymore, Sophie. We did say, we have to cut our cloth accordingly now because we didn't get over the line to qualify for Europe. Now we're gonna have to spend some money, some decent money to get the squad back to where it should have been originally. Mm-hmm. Even just to be able to say we can compete for Europe. This is a money grab. This is a money grab.
But this is also what was it I was reading the other day? Anne Walton Kroenke had just bought some mega yacht that Magic Johnson and Samuel Jackson and a bunch of friends are renting right now in Europe. And it's the yacht that's used in the TV show Succession on HBO. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's worth hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. This is a piss in the ocean for him, for that family. And I feel like we're selling ourselves out. Kev, you've said on this show, Arsenal Football Club always did things a certain way. And that certain way is definitely no longer the way. And there's a new way, and it's green. It's all about the Benjamins.
Yeah, it is. The feeling for the fan that left when we left Highbury. Let's have it right. All them days, and that's why we look back so fondly about Highbury, because the connection with the fan to the players to the ball, everything was a lot closer. Now it is disjointed. Remember, we got sold up the river on that ship. They took all the oars away, and now we're trying to turn. We have to use our hands to try and turn the ship around. This is crazy business. But listen, it is what it is. We're in that boat now. We used to operate above a certain level. Now we are mucking in just like everybody else.
Yeah, and look, I'm gonna put up some of the comments. I think you've seen some of them go up. As a business dealing with Amazon opens a lot of doors. Being Arsenal Football Club opens a lot of doors. Okay, let's stop with the new shiny money everywhere. I mean, look, I think this could be either good because it's got a narrative in terms of Arsenal Football Club trying to come back and get back into Europe. There's definitely an arc to the episodes and the journey. But when you're in the most critical season of your life and you got cameras everywhere, players start to feel different, act different. Just ask a lot of the players who've been part of this. This isn't like Take the Ball, Pass the Ball, a really engaging documentary about Barcelona's insane season under Pep Guardiola. We are now officially in the reality TV business.
Yeah, we are.
That's what we are, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Kev.
we are, and we're into the business of having to sell ourselves now. Whereas Arsenal Football Club never had to do that in the past. Now, unfortunately, we're having to sell ourselves, and we got to shake it a little bit to make some money. This is the harsh reality of not being successful.
I get that, but the point of the matter is that we're not successful, but we're still a rich club. You know, we have a rich owner, I should say, Kevin, and missing out on Europe.
Does that mean the club's rich?
Yeah, but the problem is that, you know, we're not thinking outside the box enough. For example, right? Apparently shooting starts in 2 weeks from what I've read and heard. And that means that Arsenal will be shooting when they come to the United States and they're going to Florida. Now, I understand planning for some of this preseason stuff, Kev, hasn't been as seamless because of COVID, right? It's not been easy. But if you really want a commercial opportunity and you are shooting an Amazon series, why wouldn't you come to Los Angeles, where he's built the spaceship stadium 50 miles from where I live?
He doesn't want it in fans' faces.
He doesn't. I mean,
he don't want it. Listen, they know what's happened in LA, but does he want to be projecting that on Arsenal? No, I don't think he does.
But it's about commercial opportunities, right? So why are you going to go to Orlando in the middle of the summer where it's like a swamp and you don't plan ahead? You don't think, like, if you're going to have a commercial exercise or you're going to execute like a strategic objective like this to do a show like this. And no, it's not a documentary. It's a documentary series, whoever's asking, but it's a reality TV show is what it is. It's keeping up with the Arsenal is what it is. I mean, I find it a little bit embarrassing, to be honest with you, Kevin, at this point. I may change my mind, but like the roll-on effect of the money from it, that the money is Amazon up front. They make the money on the subscriptions. And if you're not a subscriber, the rentals and all that. I'd like to see, and I'd like to maybe get my hands on a contract or a copy of what Tottenham did and whether or not they were getting a slice of the back end as well, Kevin. But
football clubs they don't like the back end. Football clubs like the money up front. Trust me, because, and look, when it comes out now. They want to do the business because we need transfer money. And Amazon have very deep pockets.
They have, but it's a one-off payment maybe. It's a 10, 15 million pound
don't matter.
payment.
Fine. No problem.
Sell Joe Willock and make 35 million.
Yeah, but we're maybe gonna have to do that anyway. So, you know, whichever way you turn, so we're hitting the brick wall, and we need openings. So We might think, look, 10, 15 million pound is a lot of money. It's maybe not a lot of money in transfer dealings, but it's still a lot of money. And Arsenal just are not functioning at the top table anymore.
To me, it feels like, you know, when Mark Wahlberg produces all these TV shows and he makes all these mega movies, and then he does the Wahlburgers, and is on a reality TV show with his family, which, by the way, is very entertaining. And I enjoy watching the Wahlburgers, a guilty pleasure of mine. But it was to sell hamburgers, right? He wanted a platform to be able to sell his family franchise and the burgers. But at the end of the day, Kev, Mark Wahlberg has so much power, and he's one of the most powerful people in Hollywood. Didn't really need to do that, right? But he did, because it goes globally. It sells the brand globally. And where I'm going with this is, it's a business deal, yes, but it's also a commercial opportunity, 100%. But Arsenal, you could argue, are one of the biggest clubs in the world when it comes to fandom. Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Manchester United,
Juventus.
Chelsea, Juventus. Those teams have the history and everything. So I guess we're looking for more fans. There's a disengagement because we've been so rubbish. We're trying to get them back this way. What's your take on that?
Listen, it's everything you've mentioned, and you've got to try and win favor with fandom around the globe now. Because let's be honest, the fans in England and the people who support Arsenal now are not going to leave Arsenal. They're Arsenal fans. But there is a huge push to try and get new fans on board. Younger fans, fans that are probably gamers, for instance, who will jump on, will check Arsenal score, so they'll jump on, come out of their game to check Arsenal scored or whatever, and then go back into their game. There's millions of them out there. The clubs need to tap into these boys as well, these boys and girls, because it's huge. Now, if you're not being successful, Sophie, if you're not being successful in winning trophies, you have to try and do it another way. And this is another way, being constantly in your face, having something relative, because this is what these youngsters relate to now. They relate to reality TV.
Well, they also relate to success, right? They don't want to be the kid in the playground whose team keeps losing. And which is why even some Arsenal, I've some friends who are fans, and their kids don't want to support Arsenal, right? Because they're not as relevant, in today's world.
That's right.
But I can see why, I think this is the thing I have an issue with. Look, I get selling shirts. We've got to sell shirts. We've got to make money. It's just the way of the world. I mean, everyone does it,
But so the shirt sales have already been paid.
They have, but there are other opportunities, are there not, on a global level for merchandise? They've paid them, but don't they get a percentage? Is there no back end at all on the shirts?
No. Football clubs up front. They work up front.
Yeah, I mean, they do, but what comes of this? If someone in India is watching, All or Nothing with Arsenal, and there's other opportunities for the club to kind of build on that and make money in that market through alternative routes, I think.
Well, once they're a fan, they're a fan. You're hoping there will be some sort of metric that can convert them into money. But with the shirt sales up. If it's Nike, if it's Adidas, if it's Puma, the shirt sells up, the money's paid up front, and then the company will earn on the back end. Not the club. The club get the money up front.
South London's Finest, one of Kev's favourites, of course. How what do you mean by this? I find this comment very interesting. Arsenal trying to rival fan media. Are you talking about like us? Shows like us and AFTV and Chronicles and Gooner Talk and Lee Judges TV. Is that what you mean? Explain that to me, because I find that comment interesting, Kevin.
Mm. Well, I suppose maybe what he means, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, South London's finest B, which is South London. I love that. They're having to step into the media part of fans, because reality TV is fan TV, isn't it? That's what reality TV is. Let's have it right. It's not real football club stuff, although you see behind the curtain, but it's built for supporters and other club supporters who could look. We've seen all the Jose Mourinho stuff when he was at Spurs, and he wants you to be CANTs and that. You've got to be this way and that way and stuff. Draw back the curtain, yes, but the media part is reality. I mean, I've never ever seen, some of these reality TV stuff. I've never seen it. But I believe these people are stars. And you just might gain more traction having a reality if you're Arsenal.
Do we really want to put Saka through this? Think about it. Do we want to put Martinelli, Saka, ESR? I can't believe for a second Kieran Tierney's happy about this.
Hey,
he probably wants to punch the cameraman already.
Let me tell you something, Sophie, by the way. They might be the ones who actually save us in the media, because they are all relatable. They come through the ranks, they're young, they're vibrant, they'll have all the banter that a lot of these youngsters, maybe, we'll watch it for a different reason, but the youngsters want to be cool. The youngsters want to see young people doing this stuff. So they might be the ones who actually attract more eyeballs.
Well, there's a couple of things from this too. Arteta has always talked about privacy and do you remember how pissed off he was where, he had a couple moles and he was very vocal about that and how everything should stay in-house. He has got no say in this whatsoever, people. Zero say in this deal and how it happens. However, Kev, he has experience from being in the Manchester City dock.
He knows he knows exactly how to do it.
Right.
Because nothing goes out unless the clubs rubber stamp it.
Well, you would hope that they have final edit. I mean, I would be shocked.
That is, Sophie, come on. Could you imagine? Arsenal don't have final edit.
It's Arsenal Football Club.
No, it will. Every club has to protect their brand, and that is protecting your brand.
Yeah. Well, I think if it's someone wrote a comment, I can't find it, but it says if it's as insightful that there was a time with the City one, I think it grew old a little bit towards the end, but there were definitely insightful moments between the coach and the players, even with Arteta and the players in that, and seeing him in that environment. I think he came across really, really well. I just don't want to have a Mourinho moment where we become the laughing stock and he's like, I want you to be a bunch of see you next Tuesdays. And the memes and we're a dartboard already, Kev. And maybe I'm being a mama bear and too overprotective here, but we are opening ourselves up for taking the piss season more than ever.
Potentially we are, but unfortunately, we are that club now who we have to take this risk. We do. We have to take it. Don't like it, but we have to take it because, listen, if it's going to put another 10, 15 million in the coffers, and that might be the opportunity of getting over the line on another player, unfortunately. So, and you know what? So I think fans seeing how Arteta is in and around the training pitch isn't a bad thing.
I don't mind that stuff.
It's not a bad thing. Because a lot of people have preconceived ideas, about the Arteta doesn't treat this one, he treats that one different and all that. Let's see.
Well, I'm not being funny. He was a bit part player when he was at Manchester City on All or Nothing. Pep was the star of the show and Pep knew it and Pep played to the camera. I'm not sure if Arteta's going to be able to do that. I don't know if he has Pep's personality. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. But I want to see, and Colorado Gooner, yes, and Arsenal Misfit. They've been doing deals left, right, and center. Listen, there's no doubt that clubs have lost their asses during COVID. It has been, and we haven't even seen the true ramifications of it yet, have we, Kev?
Nope.
In terms of that, there's a reason why football had to continue, because the TV money was fundamentally important to survival. But if it is done like the Leeds documentary, Sunderland Till I Die was very engaging, right? Because again, the narrative was fascinating. You've got these long-suffering fans, and now I just don't want us to come off as clowns, Kev.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I don't think we will. Look, one thing I will say, if they'd have done it last season, then it would have been even more painful. Look at the season we had last season. I think the key to any of this is, if you start winning, you've got to, it comes across a lot better when you're winning, Sophie.
Yes.
When you're winning games and then you start seeing it, then you could follow it and you start to understand it a bit more. You see what the manager's trying to do. You go out, the players go out on a Saturday or whatever, win the game. And then you think, right, I get that you can piece it together like a jigsaw. But when you're losing, everybody comes to the table to try and take a piece of you, don't they? And I understand what you mean, being Mama Bear, wanting to protect the Arsenal. Of course, we want to protect the cannon. That's what we do. But unfortunately, we're a bit exposed as a football club right now. And we have to do things that we probably didn't have to look at previously.
Yeah, it's maybe for the millennials and the alphas and the Generation Zers, this is perfect. I don't know how Generation Xers and baby boomers will feel about it, because we grew up with a different culture and a DNA, and I get that. And I think that the young fans coming through are really cool and they do great things, and a lot of them were part of, the movement in terms of the European Super League. But, it's like, we can't have that. Let's call Amazon and see if we can get this. I mean, it just feels, this has come out of nowhere, by the way. I didn't even, did you hear rumblings about this? I didn't hear anything about this. Maybe I've been under a rock for the last, however.
No,
I don't think I have.
Well, this is one that they kept well under wraps.
And why, Kev?
Because they know there could be a serious backlash.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, it's come out and we're doing it. So you can't even really have a backlash because it's happening.
I think that it's such a critical season and we need to be so laser focused, especially if there are moments where we have to overcome adversity. This is high risk, because when you think about it, this is, and I said earlier, it's either going to go one way or the other, right? If we end up qualifying for the Champions League and this becomes, a piece of history that we can always look back on and say, my God, wow, at first we thought this was going to be a bag of shit, but really it's ended up being the chronicle of our comeback, yeah? Or by October, November, we could be looking at the sacking of Arteta if the results in the Premier League are terrible. Do you know what this tells me? That ain't going to happen either this season. They're not gonna. Do you think that shooting this documentary, if we're crap in the Premier League, right, and we get to November, Kev, and we are in the bottom half of the table,
he's gone?
Do you think
doesn't matter about
for dramatic effect, or
doesn't matter about Amazon Prime? Let me tell you, all or nothing, because that'll be nothing for Arteta. He's all look. And let's have it right. I know a lot of people have been, I'm protecting him. I'm not protecting him. What I said was he needs to get this summer done and then we'll see. And for me, I'd say, right, you have the whole of this season, but let's have it right. If he's there struggling in the bottom half of like we were last season, he'll be a goner. He will be a goner. That's what I truly believe. He will.
Yeah, I think this complicates things a little bit. I really do. And look, I'm all for change. I work in an industry where I've had to adapt or die. New media has been like for an oldie like me, and we've totally had to change how we think in media. I'm open to new ideas. I'm totally on board with all of that. I understand that the new currency is very, very different. Social currency is worth a huge amount of money to a brand, and it adds equity. And that's the other thing too, Kev. This is another path potentially to adding more brand equity to the Arsenal. But again, it's not a calculated risk, this one. I think this one is high risk. That's all I'm saying on that front when it comes to that. But we shall see. I just want to read you a couple quick ones before we jump out. This is going to be a shorty, you guys. This is not a 1 hour show. We wanted to hop on and have a very, very quick chat about this. And I need to get to the beach, and Kev needs to go have fun too. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. And thanks for jumping on with us. Mark says, let's be real here. Amazon have not approached Arsenal expecting us to win all the games and have a glorious season. There will be a protagonist, maybe a higher earner that doesn't care. They will want drama. They have to have drama. I mean, and my issue is, as the show evolves, I've been there, I've seen it, I've worn the t-shirt. Sometimes you have to create drama. When they're paying you millions and millions, yes, we have final edit, but as the story evolves, if there's no drama, Kev, this is what worries me. It's like the influence of a producer or, a showrunner saying, well, can't you do this? Can't you? No, that's the part that scares me, having been there and behind the scenes in that sense.
In football, Soph, there's always drama. And you know what the best drama is? The best drama we could have is Arsenal start winning.
Mm-hmm.
Because there will be incidents in games, etc. But if you're winning, it's more palatable. You could deal with it nice and easier. If we're losing, then there's even bigger drama. So that's the beautiful thing about football. The thing about football is it's ups and downs all the time.
Yeah.
And, if we could have a good start to the season, I'm sure a lot of Gooners will be tuning in.
Yeah. And Keisho, that seemed planned to me, the Poch sacking. There's no plan to sack Arteta right now. Levy, in the back of his mind, had a plan to sack Poch. So that was, that's just my opinion, but that's how it came across anyway. All right. So, Kev, who do you think is going to be the star of the show for the Arsenal? Who's going to be? There's going to be a clown. There's got to be a clown. There was one in Dele Alli was the clown for Tottenham. This is what please don't make Saka a clown. I've enjoyed his England run. The unicorn thing has been cute, but please, I want people to take him seriously. He's a serious dude.
Oh, I think they're taking him serious, all right, Sophie. Don't you worry about that. He's being taken very seriously. I don't know the squad. So, again, it would be good to find out who the characters are. Because remember, we never get to find out who the characters are.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved something like this when we were playing.
I was going to ask you, how would you have felt?
No, I mean, don't forget, Arsenal were the first club. Do you remember when they done that? They mic'd up the referee.
Uh-huh.
And it was Arsenal versus Millwall, I think it was. Yeah, it was Arsenal Millwall. As the abuse the referee got. The effing and jeffing that was going on there. But that is football, and it's a game. It's a game for men in the men's game, played by men, and the language is industrial, and it means a lot to win. And the nice sweet boys like Dave Rocastle, you saw him, oi referee, you having that laugh, you know what I mean? But you see that everybody felt that passion. You felt it.
But Kev, you never, ever, ever would have allowed the Amazon cameras to go out with the Tuesday Club, and they would have wanted that. But they would have wanted that.
No,
that's the juice.
No Tuesday. No, there'll be no Tuesday. No chance.
I know.
No, the problem would have been the camera would have ended up in the ice bucket or something like that. It would have been. Believe you me, they wouldn't have been coming back from the Tuesday Club. So it's probably a good thing.
There would have been a lot of bail money needed for camera breaking.
Cameramen. Oh my God, it would have been a nightmare.
Oh, a lot of people are saying it's a shame Ozil and Saliba and Guendouzi are not around for this one. A lot of people are
Thank God.
also. I
That's probably
know.
why they could do it this season.
A lot of people are saying Oba will be the clown or Pepe. And then Mark's thinking that he'll be the star. The kids are fearless. It won't bother them. I agree with Keith there. Modern day, they're already giving their lives away on Instagram. A lot of these players, maybe not so much the Arsenal players, but yeah. So South London's finest, Pepe will be the clown. Winston, Oba. Tom says Arteta will. Zamir says Oba will. And Michael says Saka will be the star. I really do hope Saka does end up being
Isn't
the
it
star.
interesting, Soph? You're hearing all the same names kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But all the other parts of the squad, nobody really knows them. Nobody really knows them. So I think this is sometimes the best thing to happen is to get an insight behind the curtain about some of the other players as well. Because some of the other players will have big personalities as well.
Yeah, you mean like, even like maybe we'll learn more about Balogun. Maybe we'll learn more about.
Exactly. That's
yeah,
one.
I can
Smith
see that
Rowe,
being of interest.
Smith Rowe, Balogun, who's going to be involved. I think there's a couple of players in and around it, like a Holding, who people seem to respect him.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to respect Holding. We don't know. I don't know much about Holding. What
That's
type
an
of
interesting.
character he is.
Yeah, I buy into that part for sure. Knowing and understanding some of the players who aren't as prominent or extroverts on social media, like Aubameyang flashes his cars and he's always on there. Lacazette and Pepe, they're always joking, but there are definitely going to be those other players that we'll learn a little more about. I think that's a really good point, Kev. All right, so there was one other comment up here. Keep them coming in, guys. We'll continue to follow the story. We appreciate you jumping on, as we said. Impromptu show here where we're discussing All or Nothing, Arsenal being the new subject of Amazon's series. And there was, where is it? Always watch shows back, but first time live. Welcome. We're happy to be here with you. I'm a little bit distracted because I wanted to find this comment, Kev, and now I can't. Anywho, here's one for you. Arsenal filmed small amounts of themselves in the late 80s, early 90s for club videos. Yeah, but there was nothing kind of like this. But still, there were club videos from back then as well, Kev.
Yeah, of course
it's just delivered in a different way now, isn't it?
Yeah. And the thing is, it has more reach now, doesn't it? It has more reach. Things get chopped and can go out on social media instantaneous. And when in the past club videos were shot, other teams' fans weren't interested in Arsenal. They'll be interested in their club. Now it cross-pollinates. Everybody's across each other's and everybody's got their own idea and thing to say about it. So it's going to be interesting.
Very interesting. And the quote, the thing I was looking for was, are there going to be subtitles for Kieran Tierney? So that's going to be interesting. And Kev, I'm sure they're shooting. I know we don't shoot for another 2 weeks officially, but they're probably doing B-roll right now of Lokonga and Tavares. If those deals, we'll see hopefully in the next few days them holding their shirts up. But real quick from you before we go, it's a good sign that we're starting to put pen to paper here, no?
Yep, starting to bring bodies in. Well, the team's back now.
Mm-hmm.
The team's back in training, so let's get the bodies in. And yeah, they are probably squad players at the moment, but we've got to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. So, it's time to get the pedal to the metal and let's get going.
It is. And Neves, you're happy about this
I like
Neves deal?
Yeah, I like Neves. I realize he's only 20. What is he? 24, 25?
Yeah.
Still got a lot of life in him. Really good player. Tough. Knows the Premier League. Ticks a massive box.
Yeah, cool. And actually, we are going to do this. Take me back. You must be reading my mind, because we are going to have a sports psychologist on actually before the season starts. So, and they will be a regular as the season goes.
Sports psychologist, you're speaking to one here. Take me back, Pirate Radio Archives. You're speaking to a psychologist here, mate. What are you talking about?
We just need some balance.
Because here's the funny thing, Sophie, and always remember this. And listen, the guys who have their qualifications, fantastic, brilliant.
Yeah.
But they've never played a lot of these guys. They've never been in the trenches, so they can only talk what they've been taught in books. Being in the dressing room, playing on that pitch, crossing that white line. That's why I say it so many times. It's totally different when you cross that white line as a pro. You're in it.
That's why when you say that, I have a huge amount of respect for it. And that is why the beauty of our show and how it works is because you're able to take us into every single game and give us, the mind of the player. And I can't wait to get stuck back into inside the dressing room and a trip down memory lane next season. And, seeing all this stuff unfold is going to be great. And so I love how you said, hey, wait a minute.
Hey, whoa, psychologist. You got a permanent one who's been on it.
I'm the boss.
So I've got a question for you. And
okay.
I'm going to take it away from Arsenal just a touch because there's something coming up on Sunday.
Oh, we should do that, yeah.
We made it. We made it to the final. How do you feel?
I mean, it's just unbelievable. 55 years in the making. And I think that Gareth Southgate has played the tournament to a T. I think he's utilized his squad brilliantly. He came under fire. He stuck to his guns. You always say that on the show too. You've got to be strong enough and you've got to kind of stick to what you believe in. It's the only way things are going to progress and work. And to see these young players coming through, England are stacked, right? It's amazing. But my goodness, I am so happy the two best teams in the tournament are in the final. I don't think anyone can argue with that. Italy are going to be so difficult, Kev. They've got individual brilliance. They can turn a game on its head in a moment. They've got an amazing goalkeeper. The weakest link, is Pickford going to be semi-final Pickford, or is he going to be group stages, round 16, quarter?
Group stages, quarter-final Pickford. Or semi-final, they're just chalk and cheese. Rolling it out to the Italians there, it's in the back of the net.
I mean,
let's be honest.
He just cracked under the pressure, didn't he?
And in the first half.
In the second half,
second half he settled down. But the first half, he was a bag of nerves.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Probably the best thing to happen was, because, sometimes the semi-final is actually more harrowing than the final.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they've had that game at Wembley, all the chips on the table, now they're going to be a lot more clued up about what to do, how to do it. Full house or near enough, it's going to feel like a full house. Final history. It's time to make history, boys. It's time to, it's time they made history.
Kev, to get over that hump. Now England can go on, no matter what happens in the final, to get over the hump. No. So.
It's
my protective.
I know your mama bear today, but I've got to take it off. No, Sophie. Getting to the final is great. We've got to win it. And here's the reason why we've got to win it. When you win it, you can do it. Getting to the final, Arsenal got to the final of the Champions League, but we never pushed on. We never kept that team and added to it. Why? Because maybe they didn't believe we could do it. We've got to win it to believe we can do it. And then, you know what? Look at the young players who were making a name for themselves. They're only going to get better and stronger and be more feared if they win it. They're not going to be feared if they just get to the final.
You are on fire today. It's early in California for me, but Super Kevin Campbell is on fire today. He told you he's the psychologist.
Psychologist, I told you. What do you think? Hey, listen, I want people saluting me when I see them. What? Salute.
Respect.
Respect, salute. Brought the net.
As Mourinho said, respect.
Respect. Free. He said free.
Respect. Oh my God. No, but honestly, Kev, you're 100% right. We didn't push on from that. In fact, we regressed after, and you think, it's the same. Dan Marino got to one Super Bowl final and he thought he would get there again. Everyone's like, he's so great. He'll have more chances. He'll have more chances.
Never again.
He never went back. And that is what you've just said is really actually, very. I just need to lay down and just let you do the show and I'll be there as the patient. Okay, no, psychologist.
Sophie, I need you to bounce off because that's the way it works. I need you to bounce off, darling. You know what I mean?
I love it. Absolutely brilliant. I would like you to address a couple of people, our very good friends, Mr. Lee Judges and Red Nose, because
they're taking liberties.
Tell them, Kev.
These two guys, I love them dearly, but they're taking liberties. They're saying that weren't a penalty against Raheem Sterling. Mm-hmm. If you notice, he got hit 2 times by the defenders. So potentially that's both of them are penalties. But they have been battling me on social media, telling me how soft it was. Soft penalty is still a penalty. Right? Mm-hmm. Soft. It may be soft, but it's still a penalty. But they've been totally against me, and I've just been battling them. So if you see any of our narrative, right, on social media, jump on it. I even got the clip of Trigger and Del Boy. I don't know if you find it, put a comment on. These two are a disgrace. I mean, Red Nose, he should know about diving about with one of his players. That should he? Should know about getting soft penalties. Mm-hmm. That one. But I just can't believe they've been so against what happened because he got clipped twice.
Has everyone forgotten about the brute? Listen, and I know there's a few, we talked about this in the show a few days ago, right? Everyone's acting like Italy or Spain or Germany, and we could take it outside of the Euros. Brazil, Argentina have not had decisions go their way. I mean, clearly he's touched twice in the box, okay? It was soft, but it was contact. And it works both ways. Defender trying to make out as if, and then when the attacker...
him.
Yeah.
When you did.
Right. And maybe it's because it's Raheem Sterling as well, because for some reason, Raheem seems to be a bit of a target for some people. Definitely not with Lee and Red Nose, but... The Red Nose actually saying what he said when he has, as you said, a certain rhymes with, let's just leave it at that. We know what player it is, right? Diving everywhere throughout the season. Unbelievable stuff. So, yes. Kev, you've got me riled up now.
A bit of fire. Do you know what? I'm fired up. I can't wait for Sunday. I think the boys are going to do it. You know what? I really believe they're going to do it. If they don't, I'll accept it. But I really think things are coming together for, a manager, a much maligned manager. Let's have it right, Soph.
Yes.
Nobody gave him a chance. Everybody was saying, you're picking the wrong players. This one's got to start. That one's got to start. But he's got the whole squad to buy in. Yeah. Everyone.
Definitely. And if you guys think, do you remember who was it in the penalty box for Italy who was feigning a penalty? Oh, I'm dying. And then they score and he's like, hey, we scored.
Hey, brilliant. Go on. Yeah, love it.
Right.
Was
listen,
you senior or one of them guys. Yeah, one of them guys. But listen, that's the way the game's played now. It's not played how it was back in the day, 80s, 90s, even some early 2000s. It's a different game now. And if you mess in the box and if you touch anybody, with sort of minimal contact, it's a penalty these days. I accept it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was Immobile. Thanks, guys. We knew it was one or the other. And you know what, Kev? It went to VAR. And they had...
said, cool.
Exactly. Even Clattenburg said it. You can't reverse this one because... there is no clear evidence to suggest
that it
isn't. So, all right, we are. Keith is like, I need to get back to work, go to the beach. We're going to leave you in good hands. Hope you've enjoyed our impromptu episode today. We're going to be back after the final for a little bit on Sunday, whether we are happy, sad, glad.
Not too sure what time that's going to be.
Not sure what time it's going to be and if we're going to be tipsy or not. I can almost guarantee that there'll be a few drinks on my end, that's for sure. So thanks so much for joining us, Kev. I mean, you've got my day going now. I'm ready to conquer the universe.
Conquer it, babe. Conquer it.
Take us out.
Because you know what? Listen, Arsenal doing all or nothing. A lot of people are like that. But you know what? I think it might do us the world of good. It might do us the world of good. And England getting the job done on Sunday and bringing the trophy, the first trophy back in my lifetime. I've got to say, England going to do it. And I want Saka to be a key part. So come on, Arsenal. Come on, you guys. Come on, England. And squaddies, big respect from the psychologist.